This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
Hello, cats and kittens, and welcome once again to the connectivity, which is also super. That's right, super connectivity with me, your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. With me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pits.
It's Phil, Filmy, and Perich.
I like that guy, Philip. He's fun. Hey, Philip.
He's no Mosmanzor, but he'll do in a pinch.
You know what? Mosmanzor is a true and dear friend. He is my skinny rich friend.
A scholar and a gentleman.
As you know, he is grand and good, and with facial hair second only to mine. But amongst my clean-shaven friends, Philip, you rank right up there.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Philip, I am always glad to have you. I actually do feel you are a good and true friend. I don't want to in any way minimize that. I always worry people don't know how much I care about them. But if I'm talking to you, I care about you. So, Philip, do we want to start off with something practical, like what comic books came out, or do you want to go into crazy philosophical theoreticals today?
We'll start with the theoreticals.
Okay, so let's break all this down. Because first off, is Disney still making movies? I don't know. Disney Plus is coming, and the death of the movie theater, I think, is a real aspect to that idea. That it's a lot of effort for Disney to put these films in theaters that no one goes to.
Yeah, but I think it's like no skin off their nose to make movies, because it's like, oh hey, we'll make movies as long as the theaters are there. We'll pump them into the theaters. But hey, if theaters die, just put them on Disney Plus.
If they die, they die. Well, the idea is when you put them in the theater. So, for example, as an example, we recently had a big flop with the recent Terminator installment.
Yes.
Now, in no way do I think that the Terminator installment is going to lose money. In no way. This is the Terminator. It's a solid franchise. It's gonna make its money back on the back end, on the Blu-rays, on the DVDs, and on the streaming. Yeah, this is kind of like, okay, it's gonna go into these movie theaters, and everyone was like, meh. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to streaming, it's like, oh no, I got to see this now. I didn't see it in the theater.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the biggest problem with theaters, is that there's a lot of films that are going to come out that people are going to say, I'll wait for it to come to streaming. You know?
Yeah, but hasn't it always kind of been like that? There's certain movies, like, they weren't successful in the theaters, but once they hit, like, as far back as VHS, they're like, oh, hey, I didn't know about this movie. And it becomes like...
Yeah, I mean, there was watching a recent item on the film Mystery Men. For those of you who remember the Mystery Men from the first big superhero movie wave that came in the late 90s, in the late 80s and early 90s. Mystery Men, which is, maybe not the best film ever made with Ben Stiller. It's no Zoolander. I think we can all agree to that. But it has a really strong cult following amongst those who are into this. And the thing is that you can build an entire profitable franchise off of a cult following. This is what Star Trek taught us many, many years ago, is that Star Trek was never a popular show. It was okay. It was doing well. But because it built a cult franchise, it was able to not only rise from its own ashes, but to become a much bigger product than you would ever think it was just from that initial run. And so when you look at this in the concept of what a theater is, the theater becomes something that, well, certainly good for the filmmakers, is becoming kind of an appendix, kind of an unneeded appendage that has long ago lost its usage. At least as far as first run movies go. And that, I think, is where things like Alamo Drafthouse and other dine-in theaters come into a facility. Whereas in the past, the idea was we'll run the movie and then it'll come to DVD. I think it's going to come to Disney streaming, and then and now you can go see this in the luxury of a theater with a steak dinner.
Yeah.
And that sounds like fun. Let's go see Avengers Endgame in a theater, or we'll do a nice 4-hour or 5-hour, Infinity War Endgame back-to-back blockbuster. Well, we have a nice dinner and we'll watch the movie and we'll sit and we'll talk during the movie. Everything you're not supposed to do during a movie is now a thing. And okay, you're still there? Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Oh no, my screen just went to black, so I got very panicky for a minute there. Fun times. Yeah, so I think that this might be where Disney is going towards, where Warner's is going towards, because they are both these two, really the two big studios that are left.
Mm-hmm.
Are kind of moving towards, ironically enough, the Asylum model. Because Asylum has been making movies strictly for streaming, strictly for straight-to-video, for years, and making money at it. And I think maybe Disney and Warner are finally saying, why are we being chumps supporting this theater business when really people would rather watch movies in their homes with their friends and not have to go out and, pay $8 for a bucket of popcorn.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that's a couple years off, though? Because, I mean, both, from the sounds of it, Disney and Warner are both still talking about movies for, the next 2-3 years.
Oh, well, I mean, here's what I'll tell you, Philip. I'll get movies.
Oh, yeah.
I live in Market 1. People in California will get movies. They live in Market 2.
Okay.
Chicago will have movies probably up until Market 13, which I think currently is Washington, D.C. Might be Dallas. I don't know. You will have movie theaters still active and operational. And then what you will first, and let me differentiate. There will be first run theaters, and then there will be second run theaters, where you're going to have theaters that are showing films that aren't necessarily just come out. And you'll have, of course, dinner theaters that are a theater, but that have it as a secondary aspect to their story.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going out for a steak and a beer, but we're also going to watch, the entire Star Wars trilogy while we're doing so. Well, that's the thing. It's what are we really selling?
Yeah.
And to be fair, for a very long time, recently, movie theaters have been popcorn concession. They have been selling popcorn, and the way that they got you to buy popcorn was to put a movie in that you could eat popcorn to. But their money was in the popcorn, not necessarily in the movie. So even if a movie lost money, it was no skin off the theater's nose because they made their money selling popcorn. And they've kind of just built on this model and expanded. It's what if we sold better food? And,
yeah.
What if we got a liquor license? Although, to be fair, first theater I ever worked at, the Quo Vadis, had a liquor license.
The theater we go to, yeah, they sell. I know that I think they at least sell beer. Well, there's the place the movie theater, the big 20 screen place I go to, they have the movie theater, and then right when you walk in on the right, they have one of those trampoline parks, for the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And then upstairs, they actually have a sports bar upstairs.
Oh yeah. Well, you see, the thing, this goes back to the old roadshow model of movie theaters, which is when TV came out and everyone said, well, movie theaters are dead. And then movie theaters came out. Well, what if we, had people come out and it was a nice thing, and they put bars in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And the Quo where I worked as a young man, was like, it was meant to be a really nice theater where you'd go see a road show in Novi, Michigan. And you'd go there and you'd sit and you'd get a cocktail and you'd sit and you'd drink your cocktail and you'd watch your movie. And it was quite fun for adults,
Mm-hmm.
I think my sister was actually a cocktail waitress in one of the upper bar when she first started too. But yeah, it was a thing, and we're kind of going back to that, which is this idea of moving away from this idea of everyone goes to the movies, eats popcorn, watches a movie, to now it's going to be, we're going to go see these things same day release on our TV screens. But if we want to go out and have a really nice time with our friends, we'll go to a theater, we'll get a drink, we'll get a steak, we'll get a whatever. And maybe we'll even have some popcorn just for fun.
Yeah.
And, and now the sad part of that is that maybe taking your kid to the movies becomes less and less something you do. And that's the downside to it. But then again, with everything comes a cost.
For the kids, you can always take the kids like in the morning or like the afternoon. But then at night, you do have like, their bar.
But what it comes down to is that if the business model of the theater changes, then taking your child to the theater becomes just like taking your kid to a Broadway show.
Yeah.
It becomes less and less something that, it's like, is it something we really want to do? Especially when the kid is just as happy to watch it on the TV at home.
Yeah, and there's none around here, but have you heard about the I think it's 4DX theaters?
It sounds vaguely familiar, but
it's like, like in the movie, like, if they're in a car chase or something, or they're in a spaceship, like the chair will move, or if it's thing they'll blow you with fans and stuff. Yeah.
Dolby rumble seat. Yeah. We have got that here. Honestly, it's okay.
They're trying.
Honestly,
they're like, you can't get that at home. And you're like, I could have Tristan kick my chair.
No, actually, but the thing is that technically you could have it at home. It just costs more.
Oh yeah.
So you're renting the surround sound seat.
Saying vibrating seat. You're like, I can have my kids kick the back of my chair.
Well, I'm not for nothing. They had that in the 50s with the Tingler. We put the little buzzer under your chair that when the ghost grabs you and. So anyway, it is what it is. I'm sure theaters will exist in some form or another. I'm sure even the public theater, because for what it's worth, the second run theater has always been a thing. If those of you who remember the Dollar Show in the 90s, where you would go and you would see a film that had been out for like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It was like, it was like $2 to go see the show, and $5 for the popcorn. And it was kind of a dirty theater, but that's fine. You didn't care. You were just going to see a movie.
Oh, that's like, yeah, we had one. We had to drive a little bit. I think it was like $2. It was like late 90s. It was like, you pay $2 to see a movie that's been out for like, 2 months or something. But like right across the street's a grocery store. You go over there, buy your candy and stuff, just fill your pockets up. Just walk over there and pick the movie.
Yeah. Exactly. But the idea is that it's mainly just that the cost of running the theater becomes less when you're not as concerned about making money off the popcorn.
Yeah.
When it's just like it's $2 to show the film, we're going to show the film. It was like it costs us 10 cents to show the film on a loop every couple of hours. We're going to charge you $2. We're going to make our profit.
Do you think? I want to move on a little bit, but do you think instead of like letting the theaters die, do you think like maybe Disney and Warner's may start investing in theaters? It's like, oh hey, we'll buy you out, we'll do this, but hey, guess what? There's going to be a Disney store in the lobby of the theater. So hey, after you go see that new Marvel movie, hey, look, you can buy some merch. Yeah.
Well, not for nothing, it's what you call everything old is new again, which is that in the old days, you would have studios owned theaters. You would have would be a Warner's theater. There would be an RCA theater. There would be a Universal theater. You would go to a theater and it would not have films from those other competitors. It would just be the the films that you were produced, and now it's like, okay, on our streaming service, here's the app, and we're just showing our stuff.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say they're negotiating from a place of strength. The studios now, because they're like, yeah, we don't need you theaters. I mean, we can just beam it right to the people's TVs. We don't need you.
Well, exactly, and not for nothing, it's not like people will miss it that much. I like going to the movies, but at the same time, it's something you can take or give. But let's talk about wild speculation about something else, which is, so Marvel has recently said they're going to be doing a Thunderbolt.
Yes, Thunderbolts.
Marvel is they're vague about it.
Yes.
Marvel is also doing a the Falcon and the Winter Soldier storyline, which is going to center around the fact that Cap gave his shield to Sam Wilson, and the government is like, maybe we don't want Sam Wilson being Captain America.
Yeah.
And they've also said that Baron Zemo will be a primary antagonist in this. And it got me thinking, well, gee, Baron Zemo, government-sponsored program to not let Sam Wilson be Captain America. Thunderbolts maybe somewhere, we're not talking yet. And it gets me thinking, what if Baron Zemo is going to be founding the Thunderbolts in this storyline? And it struck me that this is going to be coming out in, 2021, 2020?
What, Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, Soldier. I think it's coming out. It's not one of their first runs.
Yeah, none of the Marvel stuff's coming out right away. I think I'll check it. It's either 2020 or 2021. I know.
Yeah, and that's going to be about 2 years after Jessica Jones first aired.
Ooh.
And we know that a certain Ms. Hellcat was sent to the raft, where no doubt Baron Zemo was sent to the raft, where no doubt several other superhuman beings were sent to the raft. And as I had suggested to Maz on the recent episode of the AKA Jones cast, the raft is kind of the place where the government might say, we do have a very generous work release program, where if you're willing to do what we want you to do, maybe we're going to let you go. And so it makes me wonder if a certain Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross might come up with this idea. We need our own Avengers. Let's get us some Avengers that we can control. Let's get these people we've locked up and say, you know what? If you would like to do good and earn time off your sentence, we got a job for you. And of which a Baron Zemo, who certainly is evil, but at the same time kind of has his own nobility. A Patsy Walker, who has done bad things, but certainly has a moral code. Both feed into the idea of people that might be prime for work release in a Thunderbolts organization.
I mean, basically Marvel's Suicide Squad, because, is the government going to be like, hey, we need a check? I mean, the Avengers basically just went back in time and messed with time. We need a checks and balances on those Avengers.
Yeah, well, obviously we always did.
Oh, yeah.
If there's one thing the original Avengers series taught us is that, someone's got to be in charge of the Avengers. They
thought the Sokovia Accords were going to be enough. Now they're going to be like, no, piece of paper is not going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So I can absolutely see them investing in an organization of Thunderbolts.
But they didn't give a date. It just said Falcon and Winter Soldier 2020. So I'd say at the most we're probably a year out.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I think Jessica Jones came out maybe early. I don't know when it came out, but it's a 2-year rule, but honestly, it would not surprise me if it does cross over. And they can do it even without Patsy. I would be sad if they don't bring back Patsy.
Well, again, too, Thunderbolts doesn't have to start when Cap and or Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out. I mean, you build up Zemo, and then by the time you get to Thunderbolts, that whole Netflix thing is free and clear.
Well, yeah, and that's the idea. So maybe that is your second series.
Yeah.
So maybe the idea is, and for what it's worth, there's your idea. It's like, okay, so Zemo, of course, immediately busts out of prison because he's just that good. He's not a super soldier, but he's just born better, as the old Zemo storyline goes. And so they decide, you know what? You're not a superhuman, but we're going to treat you like one. And so now you're going to the raft because you keep on picking fights with superhumans. So we kind of have to deal with you in that sense. And so
you think the government deals with Zemo and they know they're dealing with Zemo, or is it going to be like, oh, hello, fellow citizens, my name is Citizen V,
I think the government knows Zemo is Zemo because they already have him. They already have him on the blocks. I mean,
yeah.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. Maybe. Oh, okay. So here is your ultimate version of this. Okay. So we have Falcon and Winter Soldier, and everyone knows, and maybe because we know John Walker's in it too. Although, dang to donuts, the guy that got playing John Walker's looks freaking like D-Man, and I don't know if that's intentional or the guy just had a hippie beard when they did the PR shots. But it's like that. No one said, "Hey, shave that hippie beard." Dude, you look like D-Man.
I'm sure he will for the series. He's probably gonna be shaved.
Yeah, he's probably gonna. But it's just like, it's one of these things that makes me go, wait a minute, because they did have him have a big old hippie beard, like Demolition Duffy has now.
Oh my lord, the images are just popping in my head. Disney, all the money. Give me a U.S. agent for Citizen V fight.
Well, that's the idea. So you're gonna have this U.S. agent, or you're gonna have the U.S. agent or the official Captain America. Oh, wouldn't that be delightful? Is you have get your official Captain America toy, and you open it up with the official Captain America toy, and then you have Falcon and Bucky kind of dealing with the fact that, well, actually, I'm Captain America. And then you're going to have a lot of little fun quibbles back and forth. But you're also going to have the introduction of this character, Citizen V, because Zemo has escaped. And he's going after Bucky because he still has a mad hate on for Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe even if Bucky is the guy that Zemo is after, and Sam's like, no, you're Cap's friend. I got to help you. And that's that story, even as Walker is trying to fight him. And then he comes up with this character of Citizen V, who he's presenting himself as. And then in the end, it's only at the end that he's revealed to be Zemo. And then, of course, the final scene is, Thaddeus Ross saying, Zemo, you've proven yourself to be quite the talented troublemaker. How would you like to make trouble for the government instead of against it? And that's how you give your launch into your Thunderbolts. So that's one idea, Philip.
Yeah. Oh, and I also saw something else, which you kind of figure this was going to happen, but I guess they said the Loki series is going to be connected somehow to the Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which you figure because he's an alternate timeline, right? So it's like, multiverse. Duh.
Well, he's an alternate timeline. And, this is this interesting question. When you have a being that is existing in multiple points in space and time, do they exist only as one point in space and time? So, as a crazy example, and to go on to what Mr. Kibblesmith said about Loki's past expanding like an accordion. When he tells Thor, the sun will rise on us again, brother, is he saying that as, optimistic hope, or is he saying it as like, no, I've touched the Infinity Stone, and I know another one of me will touch another Infinity Stone. And he's going to go on his adventures, but we're all connected. Because no matter how much we break apart in time and space, all of us come from a single atomic origin that we all connect to.
Or did Or did Loki shoot his consciousness into an alternate version of himself?
Well, but it's his consciousness, so
Yeah.
so maybe he has memories of multiple lives, like our current Loki. It's like, no, I'm aware that in other versions of myself, I've been other things, and for what it's worth, as Hercules says in the Incredible Hercules, you can't think of time in this linear fashion.
Yeah.
Because it's different for those of us who exist beyond it. For those of us who are existing beyond space and time, our sense of space and time aren't the same as yours. And that, I think, is where Loki and maybe if we ever get our Hercules, John Stamos for Hercules. Make it happen, Marvel. Let him grow a beard. That is your Hercules. So let him go to the gym. Let him grow a beard. That is your Hercules. Okay. Just throwing that out there.
Cool Hercules.
Oh, like John Stamos wouldn't make an incredible Hercules.
No, I know.
Although, to be fair, they usually draw Hercules with brown hair in the comics.
You can always dye it.
Yeah, well, no, I think they should keep it black. Make it more authentically Grecian.
Yeah, but is he dyeing his hair black at this point though too?
Well, that's an interesting idea. Vanity among Hercules vanity. Oh boy. Vanity among the immortals. What are you gonna do? Anyways, yeah. So that's an interesting idea. How they're going to develop these characters in the Disney Plus universe, it's going to be an interesting question. We know they're going to tie in the shows into the movie. Feige has made this clear that, look, if you don't buy Disney Plus, when we release our movies, it's going to be a little bit of a slog, which is an interesting statement to make because movies up until this point, to get back to our previous point, had always been, no, our movies are standalone. If you don't know what's going on, don't worry about it. You can come into any movie. At this point, Disney's like, yeah, you know what? If you don't want to do the work, maybe this isn't the movie for you.
And hey, we got a Disney Plus. I'm sure those movies are going to get on there eventually. It'll be like, hey, you can watch our whole catalog, right? Just pay this $7 a month.
It's the idea that if you want to go to the movie and know what's going on, it's going to cost you a movie ticket a month, which I think is the intentional price point of $6.99. Yeah. It's meant to look like one movie ticket a month. So one movie ticket a month, you get to know everything that's going on.
Exactly.
And for what it's worth, I don't think that's a bad idea.
And not just Marvel. You're getting Star Wars. You're getting everything.
Because, again, not for nothing, Disney isn't going to be living in that model. Everything is going to this new straight-to-video model. Because everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have TVs. Or as I've always said, a cell phone held 3 inches from your face is as big as any freaking widescreen movie.
Or they have like those 3D things where you can put your phone in and it looks 3D, don't
they?
Well,
yeah. Well, absolutely. You can do a VR face.
Yeah.
Why does my computer keep sleeping on that? Okay, but anyway, yeah, that's all that. Hey, Phil, you want to talk comics before we go? Okay, so first off, real quick shout out. Last issue of Actual Roger. Yay, our alternate comic. I love alternate comics. Tristan agrees. Old newsprint feels better in your hands than modern newsprint.
Fight me low.
All right, everyone. All you millennials, us Gen Xers, and the Zennials, we know that experience is tactile.
You millennials and your slick paper and your digital.
Digital. Digital's for video games, not for reading books. I'm just saying that.
That's right.
You're going to simulate the brain on decoding letters to be words and pictures to be scenes. You need paper. So, yeah. So, but that was good. Long story short, Clay proves himself to be a really good superhero. Actual Roger shows that he is very capable. Dr. Spectre, our evil mastermind, gets his comeuppance. So that's good. Double issue number 5. I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping they do come out with more actual Rogers, because I liked this one. I liked how it ended. It ends on kind of not a cliffhanger, but sort of a readjustment of the status quo, where now both actual Roger and his parents have to live with Magnanimo. And Magnanimo is kind of the put upon guy who's he's the Superman of that world. Although you find out that actually his whole shtick is that he just, because he was monkeying with the Hadron Collider and had it blow up on him, that now basically everything works opposite to him. So like gravity repels him, and he's not actually flying; he's just falling up. So, which is, boy, if there's a symbol of white privilege, I don't know what there is. I just keep falling up. So that's Magnanimo. Let's do Savage Avengers real quick.
Yes.
Oh, I love the Savage Avengers. This is as much Conan as you can jam into a book as possible. It kind of feels like now it's just like, okay, everybody else is doing stuff, and then here's what Conan's doing. And, you get all of, Dr. Voodoo dealing with, what's his name? Cullen Goth. And he's apparently a disciple of Shuman Gorath, which is also a Haggard creation. But Shuman Gorath was one that Marvel could keep even after they lost Conan, because Shuman Gorath was just a word in the Conan books. It was never actually represented as a god. And because Marvel defined Shuman Gorath as a god, Marvel got to keep him. Some fun stuff here with Doctor Strange and Elektra.
Well, yeah, Elektra filling Doctor Strange in on the whole first 6 issues.
Yes, and makes the point that, it's one of those amulets like you got, which is really fun because it's like, freaking Agamotto had more than one eye. In fact, they make a very interesting point to say that the one that, after that the one that Conan has is the third eye of Agamotto. And we see them basically, they drug Conan in the...
Oh, yeah. Well, he's making his way again and still drinking his way world. Yeah, he gets attacked by these commandos and gets drugged. But then...
Yes. It's just beautiful. Especially when he wakes up and says... And it's, honestly, I love this scene. You know what this reminds me of? The after credit scene in Captain America: First Avenger.
Oh.
Where he makes the point that I was at that game. And that's not the game. That can't be a contemporary broadcast. And he does the exact same thing here. It's like, I don't smell the dead. I don't smell a bar that I just killed 4 men in.
Yeah.
And then, you see the big white ball, the white silver dome over it. And I just love the interaction between Conan and Dr. Doom.
Yes.
Priceless.
I just love, he's like, here, come have dinner with me. And Conan's like, I'll kill you if it sucks. Basically, I'll kill you if it sucks. And Doom's like, I would expect you to, if it...
Yeah. And it's almost like, it's like so much braggadociousness between these two. You almost don't know who is the one who is fronting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you almost feel like, Doom, like Conan's totally fronting for Doom. But then part of me is like, you know what? I think Doom has just like invited something into his lair that he is not ready for. It's like, I am freaking Conan the Barbarian. I exist before Marvel. I will exist long after Marvel. Don't act like you're something that I can't defeat, Doom.
And Doom, do not tell Conan you know magic. Do not tell him.
You want to... Well, first off, he knows... To be fair, Conan rode a flaming horse last issue.
Oh, true.
he is well aware this is a magical universe. He's like, if I must, I must.
Yeah, but if he thinks Doom's like a wizard or something, he's going to be not too happy.
Well, the second that Doom starts asking about, oh, buy that little trinket you have there, I would love to have a trinket such as that. I have no trinket such as that.
Can I take that, put that in my coat room for you?
Yeah, and then, of course, that explains our cover of next issue. Doom gets owned by Conan. Because, no, I'm sorry. It's like when Wolverine's in your book, you know. The only person who ever actually beat Conan in a fight was Wolverine, literally.
Yeah.
And then Wolverine became Conan. So fair enough. Old Man Quill, Phil.
Yes. Oh, look.
You know, it's beautiful and sad and lovely. And that's just like the most beautifully sad picture ever seen.
Reed and Sue died in each other's arms, yeah.
Or one of them died and the other one just sat there with the dead corpse for a while.
Yeah.
It gets creepier if you think about it.
But just like time travel stuff, because, you know, with Herbie and everything, and then, you know, so I guess Reed left Quill the ultimate nullifier, because he's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, you told us and we should have listened, but, you know, it's just like we didn't know what to do about it. It's like, okay, Rise of the Supervillains. What's the most good we can do? It's like, well, probably the best thing we can do is like not let supervillains get their hands on like all of our babies that will kill them.
And a time sled. We haven't seen a time sled since what, early 90s?
Oh, Rosebud. I thought we saw that in the early 2000s.
Oh, maybe, but I just remember it from the, you know, that whole future thing, and the, you know, when Sharon Ventura was with them, and I think Thor and Iron Man went with them.
I think they brought Rosebud. The first time they did it might have been. It was late 90s. It was definitely late 90s.
No. This is before Ben Grimm became the Thing again. He was still human, and Sharon Ventura was the Thing.
I don't know. Well, they brought it back again. So
yeah.
I'm certain they brought it back because there was a whole issue with them seeing the multiple versions of themselves moving through time. And then as they got to the point that all the other alternate versions faded away. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, that makes sense that they did at least twice, because this was Rosebud 3 in this issue.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah. What, buddy?
I made a whoopsie.
What?
I was trying to fix it on my own by accident.
Oh, I told you should let me do it.
Don't worry, I'll wash it out.
Well, no, it won't wash out. You're going to have to actually rip your fingers apart. Tristan borrowed the super glue to try and fix something for himself, and he glued his fingers together. Now his fingers are like this forever.
Oh, yes.
Forever. It's super glue. You can't break that stuff.
Okay, kid.
No, just rip it apart. You're just going to feel a little pain. Okay. But I love the use of the ultimate nullifier on, was it the Gladiator?
Yes.
Yeah, you will have to wash your fingers eventually. Yeah, don't use super glue without parental supervision. I think it says that on the label somewhere.
Remember that, kids.
Yeah, do not use super glue without parental supervision. And this is what I thought was just totally stupid in this issue. I mean, among the many things that are totally stupid in this issue, but I love it for the most part. Doom crushing the ultimate nullifier.
But again, is that Doom? Is that really Doom?
Well, it doesn't matter who it is, but the idea that you could crush the ultimate nullifier.
Oh, true. Yeah.
It's the ultimate freaking nullifier. You really think some robot hand is going to crush it? You know? And like, no, I don't. I mean, it might be Doom 8.0, you know? It's like, I don't know. There was some What If I once read where what if Ultron took over the universe what if the Vision took over the universe?
Yes.
And in it, like the Mad Thinker bred himself into like a baboon body for reasons. Yeah, and it was like when some general put his brain in the Ultimate Humanite. it was just like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But just the idea that Doom could crush the ultimate nullifier in his hand, it just doesn't make sense. That would be.
I just wanted that
So,
cliffhanger. It's like,
yeah.
what did you do? Galactus is coming. Now we can't stop him.
Yeah, and yet next issue,
The conclusion.
we're holding him up with the 6-gun.
Yep. I think that's the final issue. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's like it, and it's like, you exist through my vision of you, and I envision this to be something that can kill you.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Yeah. I don't know why they can't just do that.
Can't just imagine the Ninja Turtles and let the Ninja Turtles can beat up Pennywise?
Well, that's Pennywise. Yeah, well, obviously you theoretically could. I don't know. I've never actually read either the book or seen the movie. So Tristan knows all this stuff more than me. Anyway,
Oh, I know you had. I know you had to have enjoyed Immortal Hulk 26.
enjoyed? That's
Well,
a
I mean, we got some Amadeus Cho.
Phil, you're frozen.
Amy, can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. First off, as
It was better than last issue.
No, I mean it's good. It's good, but I think like Ron making the point, like, gee, the two most heroic Hulks are not available right now. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, Banner. Like, no, it's like because this other Hulk is like we're using the royal we now. Basically, I like Braun calling Banner out on all of his pretentiousness.
Mm-hmm. I just took that as maybe like maybe that's not really Banner. Maybe that's just like the Devil Hulk controlling Banner. Because I mean, as we've seen with Joe Fixit, the body doesn't always have to match the personality.
And what I'll tell you, Phil, is once again there aren't other.
They're all Banner. I know.
They're all Banner, and that's what Ron is saying here. They're not other people. There's not this Hulk and that Hulk. And in fact, they even mention it when they're talking about Hulk syndrome.
Yeah.
Which is that, Banner already had dissociative identity syndrome. And maybe, when you get exposed to gamma from Banner, that gives you a little bit of dissociative identity syndrome as well.
Yeah.
And then they say, although the other possibility is that no, it's something completely different. And like I said, I think that Braun calling out Banner on all of this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how I feel about Namor as the cook in the diner.
I was like, okay, I appreciated Namor appearance, but I was like, why is he cooking in this diner?
Because he's undercover.
Reason?
Which also suggests, why is this diner here that no one is in?
Yeah, exactly.
What did they do to create this scenario where no one is in the diner except for Bruce and Braun, and Namor is at the grill?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless they're going to do, well, no, Namor came in, he paid them off. And of course, right now, Namor's in his own crazy town, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of crazy going on in this. Not the least of which is, of course, with our bull market champion.
Oh, yeah. Darius Auger, yeah.
Darius, whatever.
Darius
Argento, or... Yeah.
Because I guess Hulk's going to war with Roxxon.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, get it? He's Greenpeace.
Yeah, and about as sympathetic. First off, the Minotaur aspect of it is like, okay, I get you. Like, someone read Bullfinch's mythology once, and
I think too, it's like the Hulk can't physically intimidate him either. It's like I can take a Hulk punch at this point now. So
it's not the first Minotaur he's beaten up.
I know, but he's not like just a regular human who Double Hulk can squish with one punch now.
Yeah, like I said.
Yeah.
I guess on my level is like there's other Bull villains that might have been more interesting to use, but okay. I mean, I know we've established this as a bullet, but now he's like all super villained out, and it's like, and no one's blinking an eye.
I think they wanted rocks on, and they're like, oh hey, Augur's here already. Let's use him.
Well, yeah, and fair enough. And to be fair, it's like, it is just like, oh, we get away with whatever we want. It's like, that's the thing. It's like ExxonMobil has not actively committed treason before. And the reality is, if you actively commit treason, you can give people your money all you want to quiet them. But if you give a corrupt person money to quiet them, they also might just say, well, you know what? We could actually just take all your money and put you in jail.
Yeah.
That works for us too. And then we can give your money to some other person to administrate it. We can give your Roxxon money to Blackson,
Yeah.
some other company we can randomly pick. And now you will be the millionaires to bribe with.
Well, I think they have to paint Roxxon pretty evil, so it's like they give you a reason why you should be rooting for Devil Hulk and Banner, because it's like, oh, look how evil Roxxon is.
And yet, still, they fall short. But getting to a really good superhero book, let's talk Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
Number 16. Yeah, so first off, aside from the fact that, it's that episode where all of the Fantastic Four go to the future, and all of the characters in the future in the dome, where everyone has powers like them, and they have to.
Is that the future though?
Well, no, that was in Central City Does Not Answer.
Oh, yeah.
Central City gets covered by the dome, and time passes. He meant to make it that time pass slowly under the dome, and quickly on the outside, but he forgot to carry the two. Our ancient nemesis, the two.
I was getting those vibes combined with some Inhumans vibes, Hidden City,
Yeah, well, there's a whole hidden planet, and it's like xenophobic paranoia. It's like, oh, you gain powers, so now we must have powers. It's like, dude. Yeah,
it just the story just seems like a mismatch, like slots like trying to match up. Hey, what's some of the stuff that made Fantastic Four popular back in the day? Let's use this. Let's throw some of this in. Let's do that.
Well, I like Ben Grimm with his freaking broken arm.
Oh yeah,
I think it's like the most beautiful thing about it. It's like, oh, I still have a broken arm when I beat the heck out of the Hulk. Hulk died. Just to give you an interesting point about that, when he punches the Hulk and shatters his own arm, the Hulk actually died.
Mm-hmm.
Because he died, sun came up, he turned back to the Banner, came back alive as Banner, then walked away. That's what happened in that scene. He didn't just knock out the Hulk for 5 seconds.
Well,
he freaking shattered the Hulk's neck.
Well, that's what Ben was telling that leader of those monsters. He says, "I'm not afraid of you." He's like, "I just put down the biggest, toughest thing on my planet." So, I'm not
exactly. But again, it's like, oh, all the reject monsters goes to the monsters land. But then you get, of course, this whole, and of course, and here's what I'll say: I give the Fantastic Four a pass on this because this is their origin, with the Mole Man and like, oh yeah, it's the monsters underneath the earth. And he's like, hey. Let's all go take back your planet for you because it seems like you guys are being ruled over by a bunch of jerks. And I'm the thing, and I don't like jerky people. So again, Ben Grimm, heart of the Fantastic Four, makes this.
I just took that as oh look, Ben, it could always be worse. At least you had friends who accepted you. You could have been tossed aside. And
I gotta ask the question though, man. Girl with the wings. That's not Leica. Is she getting fridged at this? Do they just separate? What's the story on this? Because it's like, we're soulmates. We're meant to be together. It's like, really?
It will eventually. It won't work, and it's going to be hit. Maybe they won't get him back with Elijah. Maybe it'll be like, if I've looked for love all over the universe and can't find it, but it keeps coming back to Elijah.
Well, yeah, but no, but I guess. I don't want this character introduced just to be murdered.
Oh yeah, no.
You know, and for what it's, although I really feel they're rushing towards that, because it does seem like there is a lot of, because you have her ex who's like, oh, you know, who is definitely seems like an abusive ex, like, you know, if I can't have you, no one will, kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then you have the reality of just the idea that, oh, perfectly matched soulmates. That doesn't sound like a thing that exists. You know, they just touched on that in The Good Place, where, like, you know, Chidi and the other girl, and I'm forgetting her name, but the neuroscientist on it where Chidi's like, you know, we're soulmates, and she's like, that's not a thing, dude. Which is actually, in that case, ironically true, because Chidi's actually Shellstrap's soulmate. Yay! But anyway, plotline. What happened in Daredevil this week, Philip? Because I didn't get the chance to read it yet.
Oh, you didn't read it? Oh, well,
yeah, spoil me, Philip.
Fisk has to have his boy Wesley clean up the murder scene.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of do that. They kind of do that, and they're like I guess they have like the janitor like on duty, like helping them clean up they're like, oh, we'll kill your family if you don't help us clean up this mess. And the guy Fisk killed, they like made it look like it was like, you know, he ran out of their car accident, because they're like, oh, he ran out because he saw the janitor killed himself. It's like, what? And then they kill the janitor. So it's, you know, it's a big cover up, this, you know, to save face with Fisk and stuff. And then that's most of the issue, is the whole Fisk thing. But then we see Elektra helping, you know, retrain Matt Murdock. And then at the end of the issue, I guess Matt's going to go have coffee with what's our policeman friend here's name? What's the cops?
I have no idea, Philip. Okay. So I didn't miss much.
But most of the issue is the Fisk stuff. I think you like, you know, it's basic. You know, he's like, what?
I mean,
Fisk is even like, Wesley, I don't know what to do, and Wesley's like, hold on, we're coming.
Okay. Well, you know, I guess that happens to Fisk every so often too. Book, I don't think you read Magnificent Ms. Marvel.
No.
A lot of fun. Basic plotline, you know, for those who don't remember, Ms. Marvel's dad is like sick and dying. He collapses. They take him to Jersey City Medical Center, where I used to work. And of course, you know, Tony brings Doctor Strange, and I think this is kind of like, you know, we're coming out with the Surgeon Supreme story soon. This maybe is where we get that start here, because he is going to do some experimental surgery on Ms. Marvel's dad. Because as it turns out, essentially, when the Terrigen Mist fell over the world, it awakened everyone who had an inhuman gene. But if you only had one copy, it might have caused a disease to mutate. So Doctor Strange is like, I can figure out what parts to cut out, kind of, is the idea, to get the inhuman cancer. And then, of course, naturally, whenever you have an amazing dramatic storyline occur, some random supervillain shows up, in this case, Mr. Hyde, who Ms. Marvel has to fight, and yada, yada, yada. They have a fight. She gets Mr. Hyde out of the hospital, but the guy that Mr. Hyde was going to kill, who was basically a scientist who was hired by Mr. Hyde to help him out with making his formula, says, look, he's in a rage. If he doesn't kill me, he's going to kill whoever he can find. So someone needs to stop him. We get a very nice scene between Bruno and Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel kisses Bruno before she goes off to fight Mr. Hyde. And it was very lovely, well done. I enjoyed it. You know, it was a simple story, much like the Daredevil. It sounds like it was like kind of a filler issue Not a lot happened, but it kind of gives you some nice story beats if you like what the story does. And that's all my books this week, Philip.
Yeah, I think I hit pretty much everything I was going to hit. Yeah.
Okay, so Philip, let's wrap it up. How can people reach out to you if they'd like to call you, talk to you, tweet you?
I can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. Make sure you check out Capes and Lunatics. A lot of good stuff's coming. At Capes Lunatics on Twitter. You can email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. 614-38-CAPES. And check out you can find all our links in one spot, Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics.
And of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way, as Phil tried to do last night. Tonight, but I don't know when these things drop.
Oh, yeah.
At superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet whatever the heck I feel like whenever it's on. At Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. ESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing! And that has been Super Connectivity for one more week, ladies and gentlemen. Please do be a pal and super connect with us again next week. Good night.
Good night. He's falling asleep.
And never. Long shows, not too.
I know. I thought Lil Hellfire wanted to get out early, man. She was fighting me nerds for like almost an hour and a half.
She likes to fight the nerds, Philip.
She does.
It is her calling.
Her mantra.
It's her something, brother. Kristen wants to watch a Godzilla movie, so we're going to do that now.